Welcome to Modern US Midterm Game Number 1. This is Melinda Klein. Because of the short 10-minute duration of this game, I highly recommend you use the pause button so you won't see the answers too quickly. First question is Society and Culture for 10 points. During the Gilded Age of the 1880s, communities spent time and money remembering past glory. This led to social club membership and monument building. Name the movement that remembered Civil War Southern glories. The Cult of Confederacy. Next question, Technology and Medicine for 40 points. Public transportation sped middle-class shoppers and commuters across American towns. Before the gasoline-driven bus, name the innovation in urban transportation powered first by horsepower and then by electricity. The streetcar. Next question, Society and Culture for 30 points. If the American diet had stuck to chicken, pork, and seafood, the making of the American West might have turned out quite different. Name the higher status food infused into the American diet after the American Civil War and the industry it spawned. Beef and the cattle industry. Next question, Immigration and Urban Life for 10 points. As the nation industrialized, this brought change to the habits of its workforce. When textile and other U.S. factories started using fast-moving machines requiring serious concentration by workers, it became clear that while at work, one common habit needed to come to an end. Name this habit. Consumption of beer and spirits at work. Next question, Society and Culture for 20 points. In 1896, the Supreme Court justices ruled Plessy v. Ferguson did not deny African Americans their rights under the 14th Amendment as long as separating the races meant equal accommodations for both blacks and whites. What was the common name for this practice? Separate but equal. Next question, Public Lives for 10 points. The 1906 fictional story The Jungle influenced the office of the president to create a committee to investigate the methods and unhealthy factory practices apparently taking place in Chicago's meatpacking industry. Name one of the two congressional regulatory acts passed the same year. Pure Food and Drug Act and the Meat Inspection Act. Next question, Imperialism and Rulership for 20 points. Late in the era of imperial competition, a European nation with a long and proud history of glory and military prowess unified in 1871. Neighboring countries were convinced war was imminent. Name this nation-state, its chief rival, and the competition over military might that brought fear to Europeans. Newly unified Germany, 1871, combined with an arms race from the 1880s between Germany and Britain. Next question, Technology and Medicine for 20 points. International espionage reached new heights by the 1910s. What message did British intelligence intercept that convinced Congress it was time to enter World War I in 1917? The Zimmermann telegram. Message implied Mexican alliance with Germany. Next question, Immigration and Urban Life for 40 points. Before World War I, middle-class and elite American families strived to conform to Victorian social customs and protocols. American daughters born into wealthy and politically connected families were marrying British and European aristocrats and peers. Why was this? To become acceptable by European business and social contacts. Cultural similarity fosters alliance among foreigners and leads to economic prosperity. Next question, immigration and urban life for 30 points. Historically, city lending libraries served the needs of educated and literate patrons. Libraries were closed on Sundays, a traditional day of worship for Christians. This feature of urban life was a stumbling block for residents wishing to improve their lives through study and reading. Name the urban population and the main reason why visiting libraries was almost impossible. The working class because of their work week of 60-plus hours from Monday through Saturday. Next question, technology and medicine for 30 points. A much publicized New York City story in the early 20th century featured a woman who history remembers as the first known carrier of disease in the U.S. The battle by city health officials over public safety and this cook's desire for a fair trial were at odds for years. Name this Irish immigrant who caught the imagination of American readers. This was Typhoid Mary, also known as Mary Mallon. By the time she worked at a maternity hospital, doctors, nurses, and patients were dying. Next question, imperialism and rulership for 10 points. Late 19th century new imperialists aimed to extend their influence over non-industrial nations under the guise of protectionism, indirect or direct rule. Industrial nations such as Britain and the United States had tremendous demands for tropical imports. Name the rainforest commodity from Africa and Asia in high demand during the 19th to the mid-20th century. The answer is natural rubber, used for rubber boots such as the Wellingtons and raincoats remembered as the Macintosh to bike and automobile tires. A low-cost synthetic polymer was in production by the 1940s. Next question, imperialism and rulership for 40 points. 4 family cultures settled the West between 1850 and the 1920s. They came from all walks of life, professionals to self-starters like prostitutes and bandits, to business families such as cattle barons, migrant cowboys, and farmers, to name a few. Name 2 of these family types. Patrimonial, proletarian, entrepreneur, and slave. Next question, public lives for 40 points. In 1890, the private world of urban poverty and economic survival as lived in New York City's Lower East End was made public through the efforts of a journalist photographer. One of his still influential books as a primary source is How the Other Half Lives. Name this writer. This is Jacob Riis. Next question, government and rulership for 30 points. From the 1850s to the 1920s, life in the western U.S. included elements of violence and regional disorder. Often settlers resorted to armed retaliation in efforts to protect their homes, loved ones, and economic livelihoods. This heritage evolved from colonial life on the frontier. What resource was used by private persons and town governments as a common solution to rid towns of bandits or to maintain order? This would be hired guns, known as vigilantes.